welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. I'm Dwayne Kohler, and joining me is Randy Ferguson. Randy, Hunters Sharing the Harvest. Can you talk about that for a sec?
Absolutely. Hunters Sharing the Harvest is Pennsylvania's venison donation program. We've been doing this since 1991.
Wow.
Started out with our founder and former executive director, John Plowman, and a friend of his by the name of Ken Brandt that started this back in Harrisburg in 1991. And over the course of these last 31 years, we've built a program here in Pennsylvania that's become very successful, and it's actually been kind of a model for similar organizations in other states around the country since then, where we give an opportunity for hunters that have extra deer than what their family might consume so they can share with other people that can need that meat.
Now, at my house, my wife had a gallbladder surgery a few years back, whatever. She can't do beef, she can't do pork. You know, the only way we can do anything with red meat is to get a deer. And there's no fat on the deer, you know.
Right.
So now we're going to talk about the processing here in a minute. But and I've been processing them for a long time. So it's like I have to bring home a deer every year.
Right,
So
right.
I sign up for my doe tag. I sign up for, I have a property over in the 2F zone.
Okay.
I have several friends that have property here in the 1B zone, and I have friends that have property in the 1A zone. So I get 3 doe tags every year.
Right, right.
And I mean, if I can get 2 or 3 doe, and now sometimes if I get 2, that's and they're small or whatever, that works out just fine for the family. But if I get a 3rd one, what can I do with it?
That's just it, and we found that with the more opportunities hunters have to fill more tags in the state with some of the different tags that are available, it's opened up a whole new opportunity for us. So really, what a hunter does to donate a deer is simply looks up on our website where our participating processors in the county that you're hunting, and you take it to that participating processor, let them know you're going to donate that deer to Hunters Sharing the Harvest. They'll have you fill out a donor receipt, and you walk away. You don't have to pay anything. There's no fee to the hunter. We pay the processor to do their processing.
Now I've been deer hunting for 40 years probably now, something like that, maybe even a little bit longer than that. And I think I've gotten 9 bucks and probably at least 3 times as many does over the years. And so I've learned how to do it. But again, it's not something that I do every single day. It's something I do once a year or whatever.
Right.
So the skills of doing the processing or whatever, I mean, the guys are working behind us here. There's a lot to that.
Oh, there sure is.
And there's other people that they only care about getting that thing hanging on the wall, and they don't necessarily hang it. So I mean, if that's the case, if I get a big buck or whatever, and I don't care so much about the venison or whatever, I mean, can I turn it over?
Absolutely, because you can keep whatever you want from that deer that's not the meat part of it.
So I can share.
Obviously.
I can share.
So,
I mean, you can do part, you can keep part. And
yeah, absolutely. The way we do that, when you want to do a partial donation, we do ask the hunter in that case to pay the processing fee, because what we would run into then is folks that might just take the back straps and then donate the rest, and so in the meantime we're footing the bill for that processing. So we do ask in the case of partial donations that you pay the processing fee for us.
Now, backstraps become one of my all-time favorite meals, and we're going to have Chef Lisa work on a backstrap recipe later in the show today. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if you are kind of new to this and you want to get your deer processed and you don't mind sharing a little bit, I mean, a place like Pitt's here, we're here at Pitt's Custom Processing, this might be a place to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something around the state that we've been finding is this processing industry does not have a lack for business, but they do have a lot of issues and concerns. They're facing a lot of higher costs to do business. A lot of them are having a hard time finding good labor to work throughout the seasons, especially the fact that deer processing tends to be a kind of limited season. So from about October through December, they need folks that are going to come in here and be able to cut these deer, work some long hours, put in some hard work, but have that work ethic, and it's not always the easiest thing to find.
So if someone's looking for a place to process their deer, this is a location here. It's on Conneaut Lake Road, kind of catty corner from Bayshore Homes, kind of where I take my dogs for the veterinary office, right across the road, just right down the road from Hank's here. So again, this is one place, and this is great that. Not everybody, okay, maybe they're a great hunter, maybe they're not necessarily also a great butcher, I mean, that doesn't necessarily, those things don't necessarily go together.
Right, exactly. And it's been great that we've been able to add pits here this season, because for the last probably 7 or 8 years, we've only had one processor here in Crawford County, and that's Hilltop Processing in Conneautville. They're still a participating processor with us, but now by having the folks here with pits, that's just phenomenal. because now we've got the Meadville area covered, and folks that might be coming from, you know, northern Mercer County too, where they might have had to travel quite a distance to find a processor.
So let's say half and half. Let's say I keep half and then I want to donate half. So what happens to the half that I donate? How does that work?
What happens is we ask the processor to just grind everything into burgers, so we're not, at that point, we're not worrying about special cuts or roasts or steaks or anything. We're just having everything ground into burger, and then they place it into chub bags that can then be distributed to the local food pantries, because that's the most efficient way to distribute the meat. It goes the furthest that way, feeds the most people, and so forth. And from a cost perspective, it's obviously a lot easier on the processor to just grind everything than to have all that extra overhead involved.
I'm getting that same story in my house. My wife's like, you know, I'm always trying to get all the, you know, the round roasts and the big nice roasts off the legs or whatever. She says, why don't you just make ground one? Because we have chili, you know, we have all kinds of, you know, tacos, all the, you know, typical red meat things, you know, they're all made from venison now. So I'm probably grinding, you know, 80% of the deer up, you know. Got to say those backstraps, the backstraps.
Oh yeah,
those are the best.
Yeah, it's hard to grind up a backstrap.
Okay, so down the road, if I, you know, maybe I don't need as many deer as I got, just, you know, general, what do I do?
So all you need to do is you harvest that deer legally, tag it, field dress it obviously, and then from there, all you need to do is take the deer to a participating processor, and we've got a little over 100 processors across the state. So in most every county, we've got at least one processor. We do have a handful of counties around the state where we don't have any processors right now, so we're always looking to add new processors. But at any rate, you can find your local processor on our website, and that's sharedeer.org.
Okay.
And then you just take it to that processor, let them know you're going to donate the deer, fill out a receipt, walk away knowing that you did something good and that deer is going to feed about 40 pounds on average to folks that can really use it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you the story. Here in the last, let's see, we're the first week in November. I think the last week of October when we had that snow and everything, you know, I was out in my tree stand, you know, and I hadn't been seeing much this year, which I'm not sure why. I think the acorns all kind of, the place where I call it the funnel. There's oak trees, you know, and then so I had set up a tree stand right in between there, you know, and the deer typically moved on the west side there. There was a construction project on the west side there, maybe 250 yards away or whatever. So they moved over to the east side. So I moved my stand over, and I'm watching to the, you know, to the southeast, and here comes the deer straight behind me.
That's classic.
So I had to stand up in the stand and then twist all the way around. So I'm trying, you know. So this year I got some arrows for my crossbow. I do a crossbow. I got arrows for my crossbow that have when the string hits it, it turns the light on. You know. So, and it's like, because I've lost some arrows before, and it's like, you know, I like to find those arrows. And I use the Rage broadhead. When it hits the deer, it expands. And so it's like, okay, the deer go, you know, maybe it's just wide or whatever, but when those little blades pop out, you know, they're 2 or 2.5 inches wide or whatever, and they can take out the lungs or take out the heart or whatever, you know. I'm typically, I kind of aim in the heart, above the heart, and try and take out the lungs, because it seems like they drop quickly whenever you do that. So I had my Rage. I don't know if the folks will be able to see it or not, but you see the little red light, you know, going down through the deer behind me, and then I had to kind of spin all the way around to see where it was, and it, you know, kind of, I think it maybe ran 10 steps and then it dropped over. So
it's amazing. The shots are never easy. They're not just a simple.
that lighted arrow thing was really great, because I was able to find the arrow in seconds. I mean, it wasn't like I had to go, you know, get out a rake and dig and whatever. I could see the little red thing, you know, from the 25 yards away where it was when I shot.
It's amazing where archery and everything's gone from the time, like you said, you've been doing this for 40 years. I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have any of this awesome technology, but it's crazy what we have at our fingertips now.
Boy, that Rage broadhead, that expandable thing, man, that really works. That really works. So plus you need to get a good shot. You need to, I mean, if the deer's like straight at you or straight away from you or whatever, you know, you have to wait till it's sideways, and then you almost have to wait till it moves its leg forward a little bit, you know, so that you can hit lungs and heart. You know, you have to get that. I think folks will be able to see that
your heart's
on the video.
Thumping and you're just trying. You want to get this done.
The excitement. Okay, so one more time, hunter sharing and harvest. Talk about that just one more time.
We've been doing this for 31 years. Pennsylvania's venison donation program. We have processors in just about every county. We have coordinators in about every county that help us as well to kind of get the word out and let everybody know about the program and help run interference with the processors and the food pantries. A lot of times they're the ones that are running deer meat from one place to the other and so forth. But really the message we just want to get across, especially here in Crawford County, is that we've got some more options for you this year. When it comes to donating your deer, we encourage people to use those extra tags. Don't let them go to waste. We hear from a lot of folks that say, you know, I didn't know about this venison donation program. Meanwhile, I've got these 6 tags, but like you said, my family's only going to consume maybe 1 or 2 deer at the very most in a year, and I'm just not sure what to do with that. So we've got the answer for you, and it's going to help feed the hungry in Pennsylvania. We've had back-to-back years where we've had record donations across the state. Last year we had almost 190,000 pounds of venison donated from 4,700 deer, and the year before that it was 190,300 pounds from almost 5,000 deer.
That's amazing.
Wow. It's really heartwarming for me. I've been involved with the organization for years as a coordinator, just about a year and a half as the executive director, and until I took on this new role, I just really didn't have a full appreciation for just how much good this organization does around the state until I've had this opportunity to get out and meet all these people that make the process happen for us.
Well, Randy, thanks for what you're doing. That's
absolutely
awesome.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Joining us now, Rob Pitts from Pitts Processing. Rob, thank you. So talk about your program here. Talk about your is this new?
We've been here 2 years now.
Okay.
We opened up 2 years ago, processing beef and pork and lamb. And this year, with Randy's help, we picked up the deer processing for them as well as our own.
Now, is that a complicated thing to process a deer?
No, it's fairly easy.
Okay.
Nothing different than it would be for a lamb or a goat.
I've been doing it at home myself for many, many, many decades now, and it's like it takes me forever. You know, it's like I'll do 1 leg a day, you know, and it's like I'll go the next day and do the next leg, and then so it's like about a week, for me to get a deer done. I bet you it doesn't take you guys that long.
No, on average we can do half hour, 45 minutes. We can have a deer done.
So if you want to maybe you want to donate half of it, and you want to keep half of it yourself, I mean, that's okay.
Yes.
Do you have a particular, okay, I want the back strap, and I want this roast, and I want a couple steaks or whatever?
No, we've cut what they want to cut for it.
Perfect.
And they donate the rest, because all the rest goes into burger to be donated.
So the location, how do you find you here?
We're at 14476 Pontiac Lake Road here in Meadville.
Okay.
It's in the old Harry's Auto Complex.
Okay. Kind of close to Hank's, kind of
Yes.
across the street from the veterinarian's office there. And okay, very good. Well, thanks for what you're doing there.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Now Chef Lisa's got a recipe coming up for us, a venison recipe, so stay tuned for that. And joining us now, Chef Lisa Beck. So Lisa, I know where that came from.
I know where that came from too, and I can tell you where it didn't come from, and that would be my guys. Oh. Because we haven't got one yet. So, but thank you, Dwayne.
So I remember, what was it, maybe even longer, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, we did a backstrap on the grill.
We did.
And you browned it, and then cut it in like little bitty steaks, and they were like little steaks like this. Well,
little medallions.
This particular one was a little bit small, so it's like those steaks aren't even gonna. I mean, those are, they're gonna be too small for that.
Small.
So Michelle came up with a great recipe. So tell us about that.
Okay, yes, Michelle did come up with a great recipe. She is an awesome cook, and she decided to take a smaller backstrap like this and sear it. Well, first of all, marinate it in Italian dressing, which we've been doing overnight.
Okay.
And I've turned it a couple times. I brought it to room temperature. And then she didn't feel like going outside in the rain one day, which I just had that experience yesterday. So she decided to use her cast iron skillet and sear it inside. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sear it on both sides. We have sauteed a few mushrooms, some onions, some peppers, which we will heat up just to get them warm. And then we're going to shave it. We're going to really thinly cut it after it's seared. We're going to put it on a hoagie roll with some the onions and peppers and mushrooms, and then some provolone, and then we're going to put it under the broiler so that it melts the cheese.
So
and
this
then
is almost going to be almost like a pulled pork kind of a sandwich.
it could be considered like a pulled pork or like a Philly steak and cheese, but it's venison. And again, I say it every single time. You can use any kind of meat, whatever you prefer.
But the backstrap, this is perfect for those little ones.
The backstrap is the best.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So
my favorite.
Our pan is heated.
It's warm, yep.
Yep, and we've got a little, I put a little spray in there, not that I needed it because it's a really seasoned pan, but we've got this, it's been sitting in Italian dressing, which has oil, so it should be good. And I'm thinking about 3 minutes per side, but we'll just kind of gauge it. So let's get that in there.
Wow.
Love the sound.
That's the sizzling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna watch my timer.
It's funny, I enjoy watching the Outdoor Channel, and Ted Nugent has a show on it. He calls
Yes, he does.
himself the backstrap master.
Yes, I know he does.
That's his thing, you know. That's
Well,
it,
let me tell you, he hasn't been to my house because we are backstrap masters here too. We are. I mean, seriously, this is our favorite cut. I mean, for good reason. And we do a lot with the backstrap. So this is cool. I haven't done this one. Michelle has. So I'm excited. I'm excited to
when
try
you get
this.
the backstrap off the deer, it's sometimes it's like 3 feet long or whatever, and you can make either 3 or 4 pieces out of it. And this is one piece. Like you said, it's real skinny. When you get a bigger deer, it's nice and big.
Right. You can make those medallions, which.
Well, those are awesome.
Yeah.
So is this.
Yes, it is. So we're excited. I don't ever like to move it, but I just want to. It looks good. Keep my eye on that timer. About another minute, we should be good. Or actually 30 seconds, and I'm going to flip it.
Okay.
It doesn't even seem to take as much time on the
I'm
second
not sure everybody
side.
can see that, but it's already starting to change color on the
Yep.
bottom there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That hasn't taken very long for that to happen.
No, and we're turned all the way up. So I love a cast iron skillet. I use that so often, and I'll make something. I'll start it in the oven or on the stove, and then I finish it in the oven, and just let the cheese melt or whatever. I'd probably do a cast iron skillet meal at least once a week.
Wow.
Yeah. Give another 15 seconds, and I'm going to flip it. Look at that. It looks really good.
It's already looking like halfway up. It's
Yep, and that's what we want. I mean,
cooking.
we don't want it overdone, but want to make sure that we get it cooked.
When we did that on the grill, backstrap, grilled it and then kind of angled it the other way, so you got the little grill marks.
Oh, you get the grill marks. Love the grill marks.
And then cut it, and it just was another minute or something, to kind of. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and I'd say this is going to be 2. It's not going to take as long.
But just cutting those into little discs, and then just flipping those discs over just a minute or something on each side.
That's exactly what we did. It was in your
awesome.
garage. I think it was. Was it in your garage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
I'm going to rinse this off. Oh, this is when my dog starts going in circles. She loves it. And then I'll turn that down. When I'm cutting that, we'll have you heat these up maybe towards the end of me cutting it, because it's not going to take long. We don't want them to stick, so that they're warm, although they're going to warm up in the they'll warm up in the oven when we broil it. But that looks great.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like getting off the backstrap. It's a little tricky, but you don't have to get the legs off the deer. I'm still working on it. I still have one leg left. I haven't gotten all cut up yet, but everything else. But I always make it the point to get the first thing off the backstrap, because that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing.
Well, when my guys get a deer, they'll bring a piece home. let it sit in the fridge for a day, and they're ready to eat it. I mean, like they've got to have that right away. So
There's a little notch right by the back hip thing, and you kind of like get your knife in there, then run the knife down the spine, you know, and then real gently kind of pull on it and run the knife down the ribs, you know, and you don't want to waste any of it.
No.
Too. You don't want to leave any of it, you know.
you don't want to waste any backstrap. Just want to look at that. I'm thinking, Dwayne, it's good.
That's awesome.
I'm going to turn it down. What do you think?
That's great.
We'll let it rest for a second and let that turn down a
Cool
little.
down just a hair. Okay.
And then you can throw those in there once
warm them up a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
once we get it moving. I sharpened my knife, so we're ready to go, but I always like to let it rest. So the
And so
juices
basically,
are
you're just going to make this into just little slivers.
I'm going to try to slice it real thin, shave it almost. We'll see how well I do with that. And we'll go from there. Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good. I just like to let it rest for a minute or so, and then it's better to do that. It reincorporates the liquid inside, and you don't lose as much.
Well, that's one thing about hunting season, which now I'm into hunting season. Of course, I got scratches on my face from all the thorns and everything. But it's like, hey, that's my favorite meals. You know, I mean,
I know.
Well, all of my favorite meals
I
are
know.
either pheasant or backstrap or
Right,
you know.
right. Well, I have a deer meatloaf. I have a venison meatloaf in the oven upstairs right now as we speak. So I mean, I can totally relate. That's what we use. I mean, that's what we like. So let's see.
Let me warm this up.
Yep. I gave you a spoon. Oh, this looks great. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Just gonna slice it real thin. Michelle's probably better at shaving it than I am. I don't know about you, but we like our steak medium rare.
That looks like about what that is.
Yeah.
And if you want it, you can throw those little pieces back in just for another minute.
If you
or
want
whatever,
to,
if you wanted
yeah.
do
I
that,
mean,
yep.
in the middle, we may come across a couple pieces that need that, and so be it. And I think there might be a couple in the middle that might need that because it is a little thicker in the middle. But the rest of it looks great. I don't think I'll shave the whole thing. I think I'll make enough for our sandwich.
Yeah, sure.
This looks really good. And I think maybe I'll take from this end too. The ends are usually done a little bit more. This is so
this
tender.
is like, if you get one that's just a hair on the small side,
Yeah,
this is a perfect way to use
Yeah.
up that awesome backstrap.
yeah, for sure. Nice and thin pieces. These actually look really good. There might be a couple in there. For some people, they wouldn't want it as red. For me, I'm pretty good with that. You think that's enough to make a sandwich?
Oh, that's more than enough.
Do you think we need to heat any of the pieces, or do you think we're good?
I think that's fine.
I think so too. That looks really nice. I'm gonna slice so a little bit more. And then I already took a bun. You could probably put those back in there, Dwayne. I
Okay.
bet they're warm. And we'll plate this up. I already sliced a nice bun. And we'll take this meat and we're gonna put it right in there. And then we're going to put some of those in here. Good job.
There we go.
Thank you. Yep, I did these ahead of time, but you could cook them at the same. Look at that.
And that's real easy. Those just softening up some mushrooms and some peppers.
I did throw in a
Onion.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to take some provolone cheese. We're going to do this. And then we're going to pop it in the broiler for just a couple minutes. It's not going to take long.
just to melt the provolone. Huh?
Yep, yep.
Well, and that's another great addition to the back strap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little provolone there. That's awesome.
Nothing like a good provolone, smoky provolone. Yeah, should be good. Look who's waiting.
Lulu's like, maybe something will fall.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The tail's wagging like crazy over here.
I know. She's all excited. Looking for a pot holder, which I can use this to get it out of there. Let me just look, because it's not going to take, oh, it's melting beautifully.
Wow.
It's perfect. It is perfect. This is going to be a good one.
This is one of those reasons why I'm always trying to talk people into, you should go hunting. Because this is just awesome. This
Yeah,
is just,
I agree. And the proof is in the end right here, things like this. I always think back to when you say, when I was in college, this is how I ate. This is what I did.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when I was in grad school, finances were tough and everything, and it's like, but I was able to get some time over the weekend and get some small game. And
why not?
I don't think I had a deer at that point, but I did have lots of rabbits and had a few pheasants and that kind of stuff. And
That's great.
Hey, that made a bunch of meals.
Yeah, that's right. Look at this.
Oh wow.
Look at that, Dwayne. Nice melty cheese. We'll split that in half. Hot. So they can see in the middle. How lucky we are.
Wow, thank you.
I don't know. I think I've died and gone to heaven.
Let the cool off for just a
Yeah.
second here.
It's nice and soft. Wow, that's beautiful. All right.
That is wonderful.
That's a good
So-
sandwich.
So give that a try. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, it's almost like a venison pulled pork.
It's great. Yeah, let's eat some more.
Well, Lisa, thank you for the awesome recipe.
You're welcome. Thank you, Michelle. She gives me some good ones.
And thanks to the folks at home for joining us on Crawford County Outdoors today. And we'll talk to you next time. And I am finishing my sandwich.
Me too.